like, are you going to go home to your wife and your children? No, you're going to go home and you're going to sleep in the same room as, number fucking 18.
So the way the playoffs are going this year, from what I understand, is that once the playoffs start, you're going to have a playoff system that is going to occur within each division. Once each division crowns a champion, you'll be down to your final 4 teams, and at that point, they enter a bubble.
That makes sense.
And then those 4 teams will battle to a conference championship and then to a Stanley Cup final and
even
a
if
Stanley
it's
Cup champion.
Even if it's a Canadian team.
Well, Canadian is the North, so they will
Are they
battle
their own
down
league?
to they're their own conference, their own division.
Because they can't come down here to play.
Canada won't allow Americans into Canada to play.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest problem.
So once
they just kept them isolated. In
so
Canada.
that's where our bubble was last year. Was in Toronto.
Right.
Okay.
The bubble was for all teams.
Toronto's basketball team's playing in Tampa.
They are. They are.
So once the North crowns a champion of their division, then that team would enter the bubble.
Like the Super Bowl.
Then,
kinda.
yes. So once, all the Canadian teams play and they have, their one champion, then they're going to decide who's going to not win the next championship against an American team. Because the Canadians haven't done that in a long time.
If you had to pick right now, who are your favorites out of each division, do you think?
East would be the Bruins, Central, Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm biased, but they actually are the
Bruins
best
are good
out of
again?
that. Yeah, the Bruins are still good. I mean, they still fucking got a gentleman's sweep by us last year.
Not the Flyers?
No.
They don't have Lindros anymore?
Trusty Flyers. Lindblom?
Todd, I think Eric Lindros has probably been retired for 20 years.
That's what I thought about Jaromir Jagr, but he's playing his 38th season over in Russia somewhere.
Yeah,
That's Russia. That's Czech.
Who would you pick for the bubble this year, Skinny? Would you, if you could go right now and say who's going to be in this bubble?
Top 2 teams?
Yeah, or top 4 teams.
Top 4?
I know you got the Lightning.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
I say Lightning. I say Avalanche. I say Bruins. And I say the Maple Leafs.
One question: where's Crosby playing at?
Pittsburgh Penguins.
And
they just lost. They just lost.
By playing, what do you mean by that?
Well, I haven't followed him much, but he was a phenom. He had a lot of excitement as a kid going into the NHL, and he actually did really well in the NHL.
He got a Stanley Cup. Got a Stanley Cup. Within his first 3 years of playing.
I think he did, didn't he?
Yeah, he's got a Stanley Cup. Yeah.
I mean, he was legit.
Yeah.
But then I haven't
nobody
kept up with hockey in a while, so
is he one of those guys that's on his retirement tour? Like he just plays a few minutes a game?
No. He's not retirement. No, he's very well respected. Just nobody really respects him.
All right, with all of that hockey talk and everything else talk, we're going to take a break, and when we return, we will have Danny with his football news.
Finally! You're listening to Ball Busters.
Lisa, would you like a piece of pizza?
You're listening to Ball Busters.
Welcome back to Ball Busters. We're going to hand it off to Danny Feedback with his weekly Terminate, Germinate, or Sperminate.
It's time for Danny Feedback's Terminate, Germinate, or Sperminate.
All right, boys and girls, get into this little TGS. If you haven't listened to this before, terminate means we would fire this person because we're doing coaches today, or wouldn't hire. Germinate means maybe this person's good for an offensive, defensive coordinator position. And sperminate means you want this guy for your head coach because he's gonna explode. All right, so let's start it off here with my boy Doug Peterson, right? Just freshly fired. He's got a Super Bowl ring. I mean, Philly fans, they're the worst in the world. Actually, I got a little snippet here from Peterson. This is when Peterson was asked about Jalen Hurts having a good season and if it was maybe a little bit more premature than usual. What do you think, Doug?
Maybe a premature explosion, or is there still an explosion?
All right, let's regroup here.
You know what's on Dougie's mind. You know what he was thinking about.
Was that
a premature something or another? Yeah.
Was that Doug asking the question or he
No,
was
he
receiving
was
the
receiving that. Yeah.
answering the question.
Yeah.
So he was
real funny.
Yeah, he couldn't really answer.
Oh, no.
And who were they
Dodging
referring?
that,
They were referring to Jalen Hurts in that
Oh,
question?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're referring to that.
Yeah, he received that
backup,
whole
backup
explosion.
quarterback, right?
Wow.
You got Doug Peterson over here. He's got a ring. I mean, what would you do if it was up to you? If you got a team, what are you thinking? Terminate, germinate, or sperminate Doug Peterson?
Are we talking about the Eagles or any other team?
No. You have your own franchise, hopefully a better franchise than the Steelers. You're looking for a head coach.
Offensive coordinator for the Steelers would
Yeah,
be nice.
that's what I'm
So-
saying. That's what I'm saying. That's literally where I was going to. We just fired Randy Fichtner, whatever his name is, who is 2 years too long on the Steelers. I think if he went to the Steelers as an OC, he would be. I would.
All right, so that's a germinate. That's a germinate.
would-
If you're going to take him for a coordinator, that's a germinate. What are you thinking, Todd? Doug Peterson.
I'm thinking he's going to go somewhere, build his reputation up again. I kind of think he might fall in good for Tennessee Titans.
All right, so what do you? I mean,
I'm
you're
going to
talking.
sperminate him. He's going to play. He's going to coach next year.
There we
He's
go.
coaching.
There we
For sure,
go.
yeah.
Next
Without a
year.
doubt.
All right. What are you thinking, Brando?
Doug Peterson got a bad rap. I mean, who thought that Wentz was going to wince the bed so much? I mean, nobody could see that coming.
No.
I think the guy got a bad rap, but I think he's a great coach. I mean, he didn't get along with Wentz or whatever was going on there. I think when plays start not working, everybody starts going, oh, the offensive coordinator's bad. And there may be something to be said for execution on the player's part. There might be something to be said for that offense up against a particular type of defense. If you're trying to run a certain type of offense all day long against a defense that's stopping you, you don't make adjustments. I think you start to blame them, but I didn't see a lot of that going on with the Eagles. I just saw a general breakdown of things. So I feel like move them on to someplace else. I don't think you can let that one Wentz thing, maybe move them over to the Chargers or something along that line. So I would germinate them.
Can I throw something in, though, real quick? Because I feel Peterson was under pressure to find a way to play Wentz next year. I feel he was, and I don't think his system was going to allow for Wentz to play. I mean, they owe Wentz a lot of money. Nobody's going to take Wentz and get rid of that salary. Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
So Jalen Hurts is losing out big time because Wentz is going to be their starting quarterback next year because they're going to bring somebody in that can make Wentz look better.
Okay. All right.
that
What are you thinking, Skinny? You want to weigh in on this? Any thoughts about Doug Peterson?
Hold on,
sure
what was
do.
Brando, though? You terminate, sperminate?
Germinate.
Terminate? Okay.
Yeah, germinate. This guy, I think it's more than coaching stuff. I think it's like the main line owners, like ownership, like in how they're drafting their players and how they're building their team. I thought that Nick Foles was their guy over Carson Wentz. I mean, mainly on how he did in the playoffs and took
Didn't
them.
Nick Foles win them a Super Bowl?
He won a
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yep. And he went to
Sure did.
Jacksonville, got hurt.
But everybody, they're like, oh, well, yeah, he just carried on Carson Wentz. And, like, I mean, a lot of people said that about Tim Tebow, like with, who was it, Manning?
Yep.
Yeah, at Denver. I mean,
Well, he also beat Pittsburgh with the deep pass, too. That was great, wasn't it?
Hey, can we not talk about Pittsburgh right now for like one segment?
They just keep being involved in
Don't,
everything.
hey, don't worry, Liz, because I don't think the Bucks are going to win the Super Bowl. And if they don't,
I don't either.
NBL.
Yeah, right.
All
We made
right.
the
so-
playoffs.
Bucks are winning the Super Bowl.
All right, you save that for later.
All right, so we got a couple germinates. We had a sperminate over here for Doug Peterson. Let's move on to a coach that I would love to terminate, but somehow he still holds on to his job. Matt Nagy. I'd like to give you a resume breakdown for Matt Nagy, but let him just stick up for himself. Matt, what do you have to say for yourself?
All right, so to start, obviously unacceptable.
Yeah, you
starts
are.
with me. So this just told the guys in there, this is not who we are. I was proud of our defense. I thought they played their ass off tonight. Offensively, not good enough.
It's offensively not good enough. What is he? He's supposed to be an offensive genius. He's pretty much saying, fire me. I don't deserve to be here.
Yeah.
Skinny, do you want to stick up for Matt Nagy?
I have no idea who the fuck
Head
you're
coach
talking-
of the Chicago Bears.
Then, they barely beat the Bucks by
Oh, here we go.
1 or 2 points.
Okay, okay.
They beat the Bucks.
All right.
Yeah, they did beat the Bucks. They beat the Bucks. That's the head coach.
Just do us a
Bears?
favor and terminate him, please, Skinny. Please.
Listen to peer pressure.
No, the Bears are just gonna terminate him.
All right.
They just don't like winning. Like
All right. Now
just
we're
hate.
talking.
They hate winning.
All
It's
right.
like, no, we're just gonna get anything that
The
does
Bears.
us any kind of good. We're just gonna get rid of you and just bring on the next guy. Bring on Goldie Hawn from the Wildcats.
What?
All right.
Now-
I'll sperminate Goldie Hawn.
They're
I brought that back.
70s.
Tell me
yeah.
about
Brought
it.
that back.
Their LinkedIn profile says now hiring mediocre.
Bare minimum.
What are you
Now
thinking,
hiring
Brando?
the
Bare maximum.
What do you think? Matt Nagy, head coach for the Bears. Terminate Germany, sperminate. What are you going to do with him, Brando?
I think it's a case, another situation. I'm looking a little bit in the league of an Adam Gase. I think, and I don't think Deshaun Watson would go play for the Bears. I don't think that those two philosophies align. You know, when a guy says something like, you know, we suck or we this or we that, there's a new age of player that likes a more positive, upbeat type of attitude towards football and towards them, and these young stars aren't wanting to go play in that old school environment. So I think from that point of view, I think he had issues with Nick Foles as well. I know that they started Trubisky over Foles. I don't know what that decision was all about. I don't know if there's an injury that we don't know about or whatever. But I think overall, Nagy's kind of fallen behind in where things are headed, and they're probably going to dump him. Although I think he fits in perfectly fine, and I don't think there's anything wrong with him as a coach. So I would germinate him to another team, maybe.
All right, okay. You're
Or,
sticking up for him.
yeah, if I
All
was at the
right.
Bears, I'd probably just keep him. But if it was my team, I would move him on down the road, bring in some young talent.
Dicka.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe Ditka. Ditka could be in any
take a
era.
break from,
he would be in any era. I don't know
American
why. He
Gladiators.
just would. He would make it anyway.
What are you thinking, Todd?
So who was the Bears coach before? They hired some cat from the Canadian Football League, right? What was his name?
After Lovey?
Yeah, after
I
Lafleur,
remember
they
the
hired
good
some
Lovey
cat
days.
from
Oh, the Lovey days were
Canada,
great.
and they were just a straight wash. They had Cutler, which is, I mean, that's
Ouch.
outside of his wife, he's really struggling. Okay, or his ex-wife now. But anywho, the Bears are a good team. I think that they're solid. They look good on offense at times, but against the Saints last week, they looked really kind of like they didn't have an answer for it. Like
Outclassed.
They didn't have a strategy
They
to
were
beat
outclassed.
him.
They were outclassed.
Yeah. Well, you say that, but you bring New Orleans to Chicago, different story.
Yeah, I just think
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
I just think if you look at the Chicago Bears and you look at the New Orleans Saints, regardless of what happens that day on the field, you just look at the organization and the roster as a whole, and Chicago is way outclassed going into that matchup. I just don't think they match up with them at all. But
I don't think it.
The Bears.
I don't think it has anything to do with anybody in the stands, though. Like, I don't. Is that what you're talking about?
No.
Like
I
with
just think
New
that
Orleans.
Chicago's upper management seems to make these wild casts for coaches. Like last one they went for, it wasn't Tressel. It was some weird coach that he went on to be an offensive coordinator for a team here recently, and the team is actually a pretty good team. So I see this guy going to another team.
It could be the
and
front
doing
office.
his thing. I don't.
Front office.
But Chicago,
know.
they brought Foles in because Trubisky couldn't move the ball. Foles won that game. He won a couple games and started struggling. They brought Trubisky back in.
Yeah.
Bulls also won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, also got broken in Jacksonville. So
I think there was some issues
Also
there.
won the
with
Super
Foles
Bowl.
and
but he only played like the last 5 games. I mean, you could say that the same thing about Tom Brady about his first season. He only came in after Bledsoe got hurt.
Right.
Won a few games, won a championship, but then he backed it up with a lot of good seasons.
Yeah.
That's what Foles didn't do that.
But the Eagles didn't give him the chance.
True.
Why would you?
They
though? You're
got,
paying
they
a
got
lot
rid
of
of
money
him
for
literally
Wentz, I know,
after
but
the
Wentz-
year that he got.
Yeah, but what
he
do you-
got them to
Wentz
Super
got
Bowl.
you through.
How
Wentz
you-
got you into the position to get